Welcome, everybody. We are here at Happy Place Aquatics today with our special guest, Tommy from Silver Creek.
Howdy,
Welcome.
folks.
So how's life in Texas, man?
A lot like a really hot UK right now, or a really hot Oregon or Washington. Very dreary, but very humid. It's been cloudy for like the last 5 or 6 days, but we've been getting a lot of rain. It started with all those storms that were hitting Oklahoma, Texas, and Nebraska. They were like just burrowing through and leaving mass destruction in their wake. Like from then, it was like 2 days before that, there was a set of storms that hit. And like since then, it's been raining off and on, but the sun is starting to peek out now, and I'm seeing the clouds kind of dissipate. So it's that beautiful, bright baby blue, like the color of the corner of your screen down here.
Yeah.
The lighter baby blue is like that with the white clouds. So it's really pretty. So
right
hopefully
now,
it'd be good for my plants because they've been practically, I mean, it's not in the dark. They're still getting the light through the clouds, but they hadn't been getting that full-on Texas sunlight like they're used to getting. So they're probably going to jump up today. I'm excited to see how they all look because I check my plants every day, man.
Well, you got to.
Yeah, every 20 minutes I'm out there. Did it grow? Did it grow? Did it grow yet? Where are you at? Are you doing anything? Do I need to pull you? Just call it. Put a new one there.
Welcome, DJ Guppy Fish.
What up, DJ?
So we'll give it a few minutes for people to get here. It is currently 75 degrees and dreary and slightly raining in Ohio. We have no sun, so there's no vitamin D here at all. Do you know that the fact that majority of people that live in Ohio are vitamin D deficient?
Yeah. We
don't get any sun. It's because we
my
get no
electricity's doing weird stuff, man. So if I end up dropping, no, it's not me. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I keep flickering really bad.
I didn't see anything.
I lost power earlier this morning. I was like, what the heck?
You know, where I work at, if the wind blows the wrong way, the power goes out.
Right.
Bright sunny day, not a cloud in the sky. If the wind just, tweaks a little bit, electricity goes out.
Got a loose connection on a pole somewhere. Did you see it that time?
I did that time. I seen everything flicker.
Yeah.
If I ever decide to move and, be out in the middle of nowhere, my first thing is going to be a generator. I'm going to have a whole house generator. I hate to say that. I'm going to spend the money and put a whole house generator. I've seen that.
Yeah, we're getting surges, man.
They could be messing with the power grid, too.
Probably. It's been doing it all morning.
Going to be 83 in Miami today. Forecasted for 93. Ooh. On Friday.
It is 8. What did it say? 83.5. Yeah, 83.1 here in Texas. So far at 11, it's still going to climb, and now the sun's sticking out, so I bet it's going to warm up. As you can tell, because that's the sun's light on my face, not my ring. I don't even have my light on right now. It's off.
I don't even have a light.
Yeah, get you a light, and it helps.
Fish tanks are what is illuminating my room right now in daylight.
Right. Why did I mess with that?
Because we're men. That's what we do. We mess with things.
Right. Got to mess it all up for ourselves.
That's what men do. Save money on heaters. Absolutely. I heat my room. I started that not that long ago. With as many tanks as I got, it's more efficient for me to heat the room than it is to heat the individual tank. Majority of the tanks do have heaters in them, but they're not plugged in.
Right.
I unplugged a few. I'd go a few at a time to see what would happen. Like the ones closest to the heater I started with, and here we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tommy, how long have you been in the fish hobby?
Coming up on 2 years, actually. Not very long. I'm fairly new to it. I mean, I've always been animals, critters. We've always had different animals and critters of different types, but I didn't really get big on the fish keeping until I think it was Christmas of 2 years ago.
What got you into it?
We had a fish tank before. My wife wanted them. We had got them before, but this is when I was a car salesman, so I wasn't there a lot. And so me taking care of that tank was when I had a chance to Google or, you know, try to find out, hey, what magic bottle do I need to put in my tank to fix this? Yeah, that stuff doesn't work. That was the like first steps of me finding all of that out about all the different chemicals and stuff people are putting in their tank, because I had a lot of sources telling me that that's what I needed to do, and what the internet said that I needed to do, and what Facebook groups said that I needed to do. And no, I killed all my fish in like 3 months. It was I think it was a 20-gallon tall. Either a 20-gallon tall or a 29-gallon. But yeah, it was. We had about 10, 15 fish in it. It did not make it. One of them did. It was a Siamese algae eater, one of the bigger ones. It made it. We had a friend that had a fish tank and took better care of them, so they got it. But Christmas a couple of years ago, the kids wanted them. My wife wanted them. She found the deal at PetSmart. It was back when they had the $1 per gallon sale.
Yes.
So she got a 29-gallon tank, and we stocked it. She was like, no fish die this time. She was like, figure it out. So I was like, all right, I'll accept the challenge. I was like, I've never really looked into fish that much outside of what's, around here in nature. Mostly birds and other mammals and things like that. But took on the challenge, learned as much as I could, reached out, checked different institutes, found different actual botanists to research, learned about like the Kew Institute for botany over in, I think it's somewhere in Europe. I can't remember exactly where. I want to say it's in the UK, the British Isles, but I don't know for certain. I can't remember. But just found all of these different sources that, it was the scientific way of understanding everything. And I started just seeing the correlation between fish tanks and all of the rest of nature's biology. I was like, oh, that's all it is. This is 6th grade biology class. Okay. It's like, I can handle this. So yeah, went into it. I actually did, I think for my 1,000 sub video that I did, I went through from start to finish with this past round of what fish we had and what I still have. A lot of them I still have today. Some of them, of course, I don't, because we had a bunch of guppies and stuff like that, and PetSmart guppies and Petco guppies that didn't really last very long. The systems were good. Not at first, obviously, but I didn't have it heavily stocked. We ran it, I think we ran it for a month, and I would just put food in it, like sprinkle a little bit of food in the tank for a month with no fish, and that was it. Then learned about plants later on, about a month later, because I was like, man, do I really? It's like I was having to do a water change or do some kind of maintenance or be convinced that I needed to do something in particular on these tanks. Like it's like every 3 days. This is nuts. This is insane. So I found out about plants, and I was like, okay, yeah, duh, plants. They'll eat all of the nitrates, just like in a garden. They do the same thing. There's nitrogen feeders, nitrogen fixers. It's all the same stuff to me. So it's like, all right, we're going to put some plants in this. And man, everything's been thriving ever since I started doing that. And I just went from there and all the other natural stuff. But yeah, I'm really, really liking it now. I can't say that I like the fish over any of the other animals just because we've kept so many. I've always been surrounded by animals my entire life. So to me, it's just, it's the way.
Welcome to everybody in the chat. Just figure I'd say hi to everybody. Focus is going to be on Tommy here. I want to ask him a bunch of questions.
Cool.
So I will comment, or I will highlight your comments. I don't want you guys to think I'm ignoring you. I'm just really interested in what the man has to say. So what is your favorite fish that you keep?
That's tough because it's hard to pick between like the tropicals or the natives, and the ones that I'm wanting and looking out to try to get that I don't keep that I'm wanting, and I know where they are, so I've just got to go get them. But I think, honestly, I think on the tropical side, which they're not even really tropical, shrimp, I really, really, really like the versatility of shrimp. Like the neocaradinas, I've got them everywhere, but they're not in the tank behind me. But I mean, pretty much every other. Actually, I do have them in my barb tank, and they're thriving in my barb tank even. But anything that I have that has water in it, that has enough of a substrate to keep it going for a while, that I don't have to worry about it, I throw shrimp in it, and I love it. As far as fish on the tropical side, Eduardo's right. I am a huge fan of mollies. That's another extremely, extremely versatile fish that is overbred and underrated. They really are. I mean, the versatility of being able to go between freshwater, brackish, and salt without much to do to prepare them for it. It's just like us jumping into cold water. If you do it a little bit slower, it'll be all right. It doesn't take long, but yeah, I've run the mollies that I have. I've run them and everything, and the last of my mollies are up here in my 40-gallon now. I think I have about 10 left. I've been giving a lot of them away, but I'm giving a lot of my tropicals away right now because I'm wanting to, do that switch over to the natives and keep the natives, because it makes more sense being in a shed where I don't have as much control over the variables.
Okay.
And I want to reduce the risk of loss to the point of redundancy, even if that means altering what I keep to make that proper. So the tropicals do all right, but I can't keep them in here in the winter. So every winter I have to break these down, bring them inside, or consolidate like I did last winter. Like this one doesn't go inside. I live in a little cabin, 16 by 40 cabin. So I don't know that the 120 gallon behind me is going to, be able to be inside with it sitting on skids. Like, I thought about it, and then I had nightmares that same night once I went to sleep of me putting that in our house and getting a wind gust from the north and just like toppling the house over. I was like, we're like the big bad wolf and the three pigs over here. But so I consolidated down to, I think, 5 tanks that I had inside the house. And then once it got warm enough to where I could trust the heaters to maintain temperature for a while, I brought them back out here. And now I don't even think I need the heaters. I think I'm running it, and my one with the heater is running at 83. And without heaters, I'm sitting at 75 and a half, 78, 78, 77. I mean, give or take, it's probably a couple degrees more than that because of how far I was away with those. But So I'm close to 80, not quite to 80, but close to it. But they'll get there. They'll get above 80. But on the native side right now, I think my bluefin killies, they're my favorite. They're my favorite to watch. They don't always come out because they like to hide, but when they do come out, they're show offs, and they'll show off those, like, they basically look like minnows with really fancy fins. So it's just like a standard gray bodied minnow with the white stripe down it, but it's got dual fins on it that are this really, again, like baby bright blue with a little bit of red around it as well. So it's just really small fish, super versatile, easy to take care of, and they're a little bit of a show off. So I really like them. Plus, they were a gift from a friend from Mark Pyle Aquatics.
Yes.
I'm gonna turn this fan back on. It's hot. He went out and got them because I couldn't go with him to the nature reserve that he was going to pick them up. No, it doesn't work now. Fan. I wasn't able to go with him, so he knew that I wanted them and came through and called me up. He was like, "So, how many of these do you want?" I was like, "I don't know, man. I've got all the space I need for however many." I was like, "But I don't want you out there like breaking your back trying to catch these fish." I was like, "Just if they come along." And no, he did. He like went into the creeks and got into the flow and went downstream, was like lifting up the rocks and stuff to move everything around and catching them in. He brought me about 30 of them back. I haven't had a single loss from them either. Wild caughts, and then the ones behind me are wild caughts as well. 0 losses on them, but I've only had them for about 4 months now. The blacktail shiners behind me.
Yeah.
It's the bluefins I've had for quite some time.
So my next question is, what is the average temperature in winter down there where in your area?
Zen Ginger put it best, and I love what she said about Texas's winter is we actually only have 2 seasons, and that's summer and February. During the normal winter months, we range between 40 and 85.
Okay. I was wondering because it's been wild here too.
But during February is when we get our freezes, and they hit hard. I know, Texas, you don't know what us is, but no, they hit hard, and it causes a lot of devastation around here. Nobody's prepared for it. Our tax dollars aren't going to preparation for that because, I've lived here for 38 years and it's still the same stuff that they're doing since I've been alive to the roads. Like, oh, wait, it's supposed to ice? Here, let's wait till the absolute last minute, and we can't even get our trucks out anywhere to do anything. But so it gets cold. We've definitely, the last few winters, we've definitely had about a week total in the negative, from 3 to 7 days in the negatives. But yeah, it doesn't do that often.
I'm pretty sure you guys got colder this year than we did in Ohio.
It wasn't too bad this year. It definitely could have been worse.
Sorry, your guys' lowest temperature was lower than ours this year because we never went. I don't think we went below 0 one time. The hell happened to your fan?
It died on me. And I've got tanks in here with open tops, so all these flies are attacking me. It's fun. So
Eduardo wants to know, you have children, a various quantity of wild birds and critters, besides a wife. How do you do it all and still remain sane? I don't know.
Am I sane?
You're not fucking sane. Excuse my French.
Insane. Quite. Yeah, no, dude, I'm straight up nuts, but I embrace it. Like, definitely nuts. Yeah, you'd have to be. You almost have to be like a lot of people have said about fish tanks. You have so many fish tanks and you're obviously a little bit crazy, but yeah, no, sanity. I've been chasing that my entire life, man. I stopped trying to chase sanity and just embrace my inner craziness and run with it and just enjoy it.
Sanity is overrated, according to DJ Guppyfish.
There's definitely a lot of things, like if I feel overwhelmed, which doesn't happen very often, but if I feel overwhelmed by stuff, there's things that I'll do. Like I'll start working on one of my jars or something. Like I'll show you one of them. It's got a bunch of condensation on it right now, but I'll do my terrarium jars and things like that. There's Boos and Rickia and mosses and different stuff that I found around our yard, like wood sorrel and clover in there. But I'll do those. Those are pretty cool. That's very therapeutic. And then the paintings, of course, that's a big part of that as well. So I mean, it kind of helps me keep my cool. But I also have been getting back into training again. I've started exercising again, stretching again, working the heavy bag, doing kata, stuff like that I hadn't done in several years now. So I mean, I have a lot to keep me going and to keep me busy. I never really truly have a dull moment unless I'm down for some reason, like, work too hard or was stupid wearing Crocs while doing fence work and hurt my foot and can't walk for a week.
You say wearing Crocs?
Uh-huh. Idiot shoes. Yeah.
I love Crocs. Crocs are probably one of the best things ever.
You know where Crocs came from, right?
I don't.
This is going to blow your mind. Are you ready for this? I've told people before, so a lot of people already know this and have seen it on the internet. But they were made specifically for the movie Idiocracy.
Really?
The developers were trying to find a shoe that looked so idiotic that nobody would ever wear it. And they ended up, there was so many people that were wearing these, they ended up having to like build machines to mass produce these things. So they did and decided, you know what? After the movie was over, they're like, you know what? Why put these machines to waste? Maybe we can sell them to people. So Crocs are straight up idiot shoes, and I love them.
I have 2 pairs. It was one of my favorite things that I took with me to Mexico when I went, because I could walk around and not have to worry about getting sand in my Adidas.
Yeah. Or burning your feet on the sand or pavement, or depending on where you were.
I was pretty close to the equator, so yeah.
Yeah.
Where I was at, I could look on the beach, look straight across at Cozumel. So I was down by the Caribbean Sea. Yeah. So I mean, I was pretty deep. We're gonna go back to the mollies.
Mm-hmm.
So I have read a lot and I've done a lot with mollies. I've actually had mollies in saltwater.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are like, no, they're not. They're tropical fish. I said they can go both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever tried them in salt?
Yeah, I've had them in all. When I first got this tank, it was a salt tank. It was a reef tank. So I went with that originally and then realized how expensive it was. And I was like, I can't keep up with this every week. So switched it slowly back over to freshwater from there, just by slow dilution. Water changes, which were filtered. Back then I was using I don't use dechlorinator anymore, but then I was, just slowly started diluting it back to fresh water over time. And yeah, they did great in all settings. I even had, some of them were still young too. They weren't even anywhere near fully grown. Like kind of that in between stage where they just start showing their actual color that they're going to have. Because, at first, they're just like one color or maybe have a little bit of splotching on them, but you don't see a lot. And they finally hit like that beginning adolescent stage where they start to show a little bit of color. But yeah, I had some at about that stage in there too.
The ones that I had never changed. Awesome.
So yeah, it can be done. Definitely. That's probably not the suggested way to do it, but I was just like, this is salt. This is fresh water. They run through brackish like salmon and then into salt for spawning during, certain breeding seasons and stuff like that in the wild. Like, why would they not be able to just handle going from salt to brackish to freshwater? It's like they're doing it in the wild on mass almost. So, but yeah, so I tried it and it worked out. I think I switched it, finally ended up doing the last water change and cleaned the sump out and cleaned the hoses out. I left the water that was in it in there, but ended up cleaning all of the salt out with a water hose and had it full on fresh after that. I mean, it probably still had a little bit of salinity to it, a very little bit, which really isn't going to hurt the water that I have, especially with mollies. But yeah, now it's completely fresh. I've redone this tank, gosh, three times since then. So, but yeah, they can handle it. Do it. Try it. If you've been wanting to jump on it, man.
I'm thinking about doing it again. I've done it once. I did it when I first started. Molly, actually, I kind of half-assed, got it over there. And it was an old Molly that I had, so didn't make it very long once it got into the salt, because I'd already had it for probably 2 years. So
right,
I know they don't live very long unless you got like that super rare one that lives like 20 years. Do you
yeah, I
plan
don't know.
on?
I kept them for 2, and I definitely still have some of my original ones still alive, and the ones that I've given away are still alive in other people's tanks. And I get to still see those on Instagram. So like, it's people that are, that do social media as well in my area. So I get to see my fish still alive. That's really cool. But
Different kind of Molly passing wind.
yeah. 4 years. Yeah, that's probably about what I was thinking. Like about 5. I don't see why they shouldn't live to about 5 years. If they're well bred. I'm not saying, go buy a gold molly or a high fin molly from PetSmart. That may not last you 5 years.
The longest fish I had, I got it was from PetSmart. Though it was actually that Molly. It was the longest fish
really?
I've ever had live from PetSmart.
Well, put a snake in my boots.
I've bought a lot of fish from different places. I typically go to my local fish store. It's called Agn Aquatics in Broadview Heights. The dude can get me whatever I want. I mean, and
Right.
that's a bad thing for me doing, figuring with all the tanks that I have, is to go to the store and be like, oh, I need this and I need that. Man, no, I don't need to do that.
Right.
But when it comes to things like mollies and platies and stuff, he really doesn't get those in. He specializes more in like cichlids, and things of that nature. I mean, he can order them for me, but I got to buy the entire batch. Like, I can't just buy, like 5 or 10 of them. I got to buy like 100 of them.
Yeah, make it worth it for him to bring them in and pay for the shipping.
So I am going to do some shopping around. I want to find another local mom and pop store that, specializes in that first kind of fish crap. I need some different guppies, because I have 2 guppy tanks. I need to introduce, different colors into it so I can get it more diverse instead of having the bland ones that I have, because I started with feeder guppies.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a pet store and there was like they were selling a dozen for like $1.
So did you just like let them go nuts and make a bunch of different colors and stuff?
Yeah, I threw them in a 55 and I just let them go ham.
That's awesome.
12-year-old Marlboro Red Discus. She was awesome, I bet.
Dang, yeah, there you go. My Molly makes me feel funny.
Yeah. So we know you got some fish there. We've talked about those. We touched on that. We know you do plants.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a whole bunch of wildlife too outside.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the area that I'm in Texas has a lot of elevation. In fact, it's like from where I am down into Glen Rose, where the famous Dinosaur Valley is, where they've That's where in the news, I think last year they found over 100 feet of new dinosaur prints and path. And it's not just like one, it was a lot of different dinosaurs and dinosaur prints just along a creek bed that had been exposed because of a drought that we had. But yeah, from where I am down to there's a lot of hills. I'm in a hidden little valley area between a bunch of hills. So yeah, we definitely get a lot of different wildlife around here, plus the ones that I keep with the birds. Obviously I keep chickens. I'm sure y'all are hearing the roosters in the background. That's practically a given. I can't put a video out without having the roosters crowing in the background. It's almost impossible. Beyond them, I have quail. Just recently got some new quail that we're going to be adding to. And dove, we do ringneck dove and pigeon. And a lot of people are going to frown on me for this, but I actually let some of the ringneck dove fly with the pigeon. They will fly out and come back into the aviary. They don't normally do that, but they're like, no, we're safe in here. This is where I want to stay. So all of my, they just go in and out, come back and forth. They may stay out for a night, but as soon as I open it the next morning and we go in there to feed, boom, there's the dove just hanging out with the pigeons. So it's pretty cool. The pigeons as well. I've got a really good line of pigeon right now. I'm quite fond of them. We've got geese. We have migratory birds that come in because of the spring that's at the end of end of my road. It's massive. It's not just a hole in the ground kind of spring. This is a massive, massive spring. It calls you a rooster.
We know why.
Yeah, I'd say it's so big it's made its own creek system, and it feeds into our nearby lake, Eagle Mountain Lake. It's the feeder spring into that, so that's why I get my stuff from near it, because it's before anything's been added into the water system or anything like that. That is where it's still pure. There's areas where it's only 40 foot across, and there's areas where it's 300 feet, 400 feet across. The actual depth, I can't tell you. I have no idea. I don't think anybody's been able to touch the bottom. And we were crazy kids and teenagers. We were jumping off the trees and diving in and going as far down as we could to where it was so cold. We were like, oh my God, start, kind of shaking a little bit because you weren't ready for it. But yeah, there was certain areas we never touched the bottom on. It was really cool because there's just one spot that's like a little offshoot pond of the spring before it washes off into the creeks. Somebody had I guess it driven or lost a front end loader in this thing. And that front end loader still in the water, sitting upright with the bucket all the way up reached. And you can only see it on the clearest of days. And you can't see it from shore. You have to be in a boat or on something, swimming or something, and look down to see it from directly above it. That's how deep this thing is. It's insane.
That is insane.
There's all kinds of life in that. So that's where I'm going to be getting a lot of stuff from.
Do you have other farm animals? Like cows, pigs, sheep?
I've kept goats. We've kept pigs. I grew up on a cattle ranch, but we don't keep those here. I don't have enough land. I've only got about 4 acres. I'd like to do Dexters, the little mini cows.
Yeah.
I mean, plenty, and great, lean, healthy meat on them too. When the females are calving, they'll produce about a gallon of milk a day, which is plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to get Dexters. It's just the price of them keeps going up. And right when I'm like, all right, we can afford it now, they go up another $1,500. So it's just Jesus.
My
Back
wife
when I
wants
was
one of
very
those for a
first
pet.
wanting them, I should have. They were only like, $600 to $800 for a good decent Dexter, and now you're looking at 3,000, 3,500 plus for them. So I'm like, I'd just buy a freaking a Brahma or a Brangus or something if I was gonna, spend thousands of dollars on one. Granted, they're even more than that, but if I want to get into the thousands range, just get full size cows.
Was that my corgi barking?
No, the corgi's actually laying right down here underneath my feet, under my chair. That was Sadie. She's the one that I said was like a healer sloth mix.
Okay.
Straight up looks like a sloth.
Man, I weighed my puppy yesterday. This dude weighs 20 pounds now.
Dang.
This dude is going to be a monster. So I'm trying to figure out what this little dude's going to be.
Yeah.
And, they typically say you could do the, like a dog DNA test.
Right. Yeah.
It takes like $100. Do I really want to know what my dog is that bad? I kind of do. Is it going to be
Right.
worth it? No, but I kind of want to know,
Yeah.
So I did some research and I'm on Google and I tried like the Google Lens. I took a picture of his little ass.
Mhm.
And it's a weird named dog that they show that it is, and I can't think of what it is.
Oh my gosh, dude, you farted and that stinks. Your stinky farts. That's why the flies are coming in. Oh my god.
Do you need to step outside for a minute so you don't drop?
Jeez, I need to get him out. Chip, sorry, bud, but you gotta go, bro. God dang. Go play, have fun, enjoy.
And guys, there you have it. Live on Happy Place Aquatics. Tommy's in the gas chamber.
Oh my god, yeah, it is, dude. I gotta fan this out.
Oh man.
God. Woo! Woo!
A friend of mine comes out, goes to local farms and buys a pig. The farm raises the pig and calls him when it's ready to be butchered. That sounds like pork chops, bacon, and all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because bacon. We all love bacon. And if you don't like bacon, there's something wrong with you. I got a buddy that doesn't like bacon. I told him he's not American. Sorry, Gordon. We eat real bacon, not Canadian bacon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got a buddy that does wild hog hunts, and he'll bring me back some loins or some meat from it. But it looks completely different. Completely different. Yeah, this stuff looks like beef. Like it looks like straight up red meat. There's no pink or pale hue to this. It is like dark, deep red, dark meat.
Because it wasn't fed, antibiotics and steroids and all that crap that they put in our food.
Fat and corn. Eating fat and corn meat. If you're lucky, now it's not even fat and corn, but that's for a different topic.
Hey man, this is all about you today. So we can get on whatever topic you want to get on. We can touch on everything but wives and children. So
why I like growing my own food.
I see that. You got a nice garden going there.
Yeah, we got a couple of them. We got gardens in different areas, and we're wanting to put them in other areas as well. Plus, I don't grow grass. I don't try to grow grass. We just let whatever nature grows grow. And I'll go around and, we'll, me and my wife are total nerds. We'll go around the yard and find like what plant is this? Is it edible? Is it forageable? Or like, edible versus sustainable. Like, could you actually eat it and sustain something from it? Or are they just saying it's edible because it won't poison you if you eat it? So we've gone around and done a lot of that in certain areas of plant groups that we have. We've let just kind of go wild and run wild just so that there is that forageability option or foraging option available at all times. And it, keeps us on our toes on, where does this grow? How's it going to grow? So that way, shit hits the fan. I know how to keep the stuff alive and make it thrive. So I'll have food, even if it is rabbit food. But when you're hungry and you ain't got nothing else, you'll eat rabbit food.
Absolutely. My neighbors grow like various types of lettuce and stuff in their garden. And
Mhm.
I always end up with lettuce from them. I end up with peaches, apples. She made me an apple pie last year for working on her car.
Oh, nice.
And
What
I
kind of
was
apples did they do?
you know what, man? They do all kinds of different ones. I mean, the one apple
Oh,
was like this big, dude. It was huge.
jeez.
Her husband chucked me one while I was mowing my grass. I'm riding around on the tractor. He's like, "Hey, catch!" And I caught it, and I was eating it while I'm mowing my grass. So it takes me an hour and a half to cut my back property.
Yeah.
Because there's all kinds of like dips and twists and turns and trees and shit.
You got a
So
riding mower?
I do. I got a couple of them.
You got
I
a
just
zero
got me.
turn?
I don't. I have a 42-inch Craftsman and a 46-inch Craftsman.
Trade them bad boys in and get you a zero turn. You will take
I
that
am,
hour and a half down to 25 minutes.
except for I won't be able to go across the creek with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'd still have to keep one of my riding mowers so I could go across the creek to do the back part.
You know how people used to get across creeks, right?
Build a bridge.
Built a bridge.
Yeah, the bridge is big enough for a riding mower and not a tractor or like a zero turn.
Not a zero turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a much wider wheelbase.
It is a much wider wheelbase. However, I do cut the grass at my shop where I work at with a zero turn. We use a Skag.
Yeah.
I just started using. I've used it twice, man. I'm like, holy crap! I can do this property in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, Tommy, give me 2 seconds. I will be right back. I'm literally about to pee myself for some reason.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, we got a bunch of different broken down separate areas on our property. So it's like broken up, but it's also split land. So my parents live on one side of the land. We live on one side of it. They have their own like little compound thing of different buildings, like their different chicken coops and sheds and whatever shop, whatever and whatnot. And we have the same thing out here. So it's just we haven't split it up like an I Love Lucy episode where we've gone out there with a fence and red tape and like, this is my side, this is your side. It's not like that. It's just in the back corner of our property, the furthest, this would be the southeastern corner of our property. Used to be where we kept our goats and pigs and stuff like that, our bigger farm animals, bigger medium-sized farm animals. But it's not even used anymore. We still have that out there, but the fence is still up and all that. So sometimes that area just gets neglected and it gets, stuff will grow up a lot more. But with as many snakes that we're having now, we're trying to really keep tabs on how big the grass gets or the plants get. That's why we specifically pick certain areas. We'll find certain forageable stuff in a certain area. So it'll be mowed grass, and then you'll just have this huge 10-foot, 15-foot diameter clump of sunflowers that are already 5 foot tall with these. Oh, I can't remember the name of them, but they look like coin plants. Like bits, like frog bit and stuff like that. Kind of a rough clover-like round leaf on them. I used to call them not geraniums because I didn't know what they were, and when they first started coming up, I thought they were geraniums. And my wife was like, "Those are not geraniums." I was like, "Okay, that's what they are. They're not geraniums, but they're inedible." So they'll be growing at the base around all of the sunflowers, and it looks it's pretty. It looks cool. I like it. Let nature do its thing. But yeah, we try to keep it down in a bunch of different areas just to keep the snakes deterring from going through the yard, because our kids walk all over the yard too. And we've got a bunch of water snakes, like the plain belly water snakes, which granted they're not venomous, but they're an ornery ass snake, man. They will attack you. They will strike you. They usually will not go after you. Like if they see you, they're not going to go after you. But if they see you, they're coiling up and watching and getting ready. They're on the defensive. As soon as you are noticed, they are on the defensive. So you step on one, they're going to bite you. And it's not fun because their teeth will break off in your skin. So you'll have tooth fang that you're having to pick out with tweezers. We had to do that on my wife's leg about a year and a half ago.
What are we doing on your wife's leg?
Pulling water snake teeth out of her leg. It wasn't just a few. It
How many
was like a
kids?
dozen. Do what?
How many children do you have?
3. Yeah,
Boys, girls?
2 girls, 1 boy. Boy's the youngest.
Is he Tommy
Old.
Jr.?
Oh yeah, yeah. He's a good mix though between me and my wife. Like the daughters, they're one or the other. My oldest, she is the epitome of my wife. She is exactly my wife in a smaller version. Middle daughter is silly and ditzy and bang your head and elbows into everything as I was. The youngest, the boy, he just gets hurt. He's already tried to lose a finger. He already fell when we were at one of these quartz mines. There was these huge rocks with quartz sticking out of them. I mean, these were big enough for you to like climb on and stuff. So we were having to go across those to get through. And he was in one area. I was crossing over the rocks. It was like, hey, just chill out here for a minute. I'm just going to go over here, see what's on this other side of this rock, which was a whopping 10 feet away, tops 10 feet away. Well, he decided to jump up on this rock and his leg slid in between where all the quartz tips were, all the way down up to his butt. He had huge gashes like up on his inner thigh. I mean, another inch and it might have got his bits and bobs, you know.
It'd have been bit and bobbed.
But yeah, he ended up having to get stitches while we were there. It was crazy. It was crazy. It sucked. He's got scars there now. His sister slammed his finger in the door one time on the back side of the door frame.
Ow.
Yeah. Oh no, it took the whole tip of his finger off, and they pulled it back over and reattached it up at Cook's Children. So he's as accident prone as I am when it comes to big stuff like that. So we definitely have to keep an eye on him. That's why I'm making him tough. I'm making him get out here and exercise and do bag work. I'm making him do all that with me. Like, dude, if you're going to be as accident prone as you are, you got to be tough, man. You have to be. You ain't going to be if you're not.
So J-Rock wants to know if you got the big sunflowers.
The mammoths, I don't know if they're mammoths, but they get tall. I mean, they'll get 10 foot plus tall. Yeah, they're not even showing signs of blossoms right now, and they're already at 6 foot with leaves that are 4 of my heads.
Wife swap is Wednesday nights. Your light just came on by itself.
Yeah, no, I had another power surge.
I heard it actually.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I was like, what's about to blow by me? Our power grid leaves a lot to be desired.
You know, and this is where we go. This is another thing on the power grid situation. So everybody wants to go with these electric cars, but when it's hot, you guys already have rolling blackouts in Texas. California has rolling blackouts. I mean, why would we want to keep adding more stuff to the power grid if the power grid cannot handle it?
Right. Yeah, and Texas.
Oh, we may have lost Tommy. I am pretty sure we lost Tommy. We'll give him a minute. I'm pretty sure he is gone. I'm going to agree with you, Passing Wind. That family probably does not like fingers. We have a house that has them here. I love those big sunflowers. I want to grow one, just a single one next to the front of the house. I think that would look awesome. I don't think it's so much logic as it is common sense. Yeah. I don't understand their train of thought. All the batteries for the electric cars are non-recyclable. So now we have that waste sitting around. What are we going to do with it? It's unless they can figure a way out to recycle it. So, but the power grid can't handle all the electric vehicles. I don't care what these nutbags say. It just can't handle it. We'll give Tommy a few to see if he comes back. It's a shame that he's speaking of Tommy. What's up, buddy? I will be back, guys. All right, guys. Tommy is done. His power is out. And we are down to just us. Don't mess with Texas. Yeah, you don't got to go anywhere. Yeah, Tommy's power's out. It's been flickering. I mean, we were, like 45 minutes into it and it was flickering. Power has left the chat. I repeat, power has left the chat. Well, since we are, here, I got another. I'm going to do probably another few minutes to see if Tommy wants to come back or if Tommy will make it back when his power comes back. Anybody else want to pop up? Let's go. J-Rock, I think you should jump up here. Just saying. That stuff is going to, it's going to destroy us if we keep doing it. Tommy, we know it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the power grid or them working on it. J-Rock, go do what you got to do, man. I appreciate you being here. And probably when this stream ends, I'm probably going to stream my my 75-gallon wonderful Blue Acara tank. Just let it run for, a couple hours while I do some other things. You may see me in the background doing water changes, or you may not. I may do them tomorrow. Don't know. I have to do a few tanks. I have to be water changed. My My baby tank's got to be clean, 2 of them. Let's see, we have the 15-gallon with my fry in it, my 2 10s with some fry in it, and the other one's got some juveniles. I know, bro. I know. Do you? 73rd B days. That's a lot of birthdays. 73 times around the sun. That's fun. If I make it that far, I'll be amazed. I'll be amazed if I make it to 69. Yeah, nobody else wants to come up. Oh, we got a new comment. Hey, you never know, J-Rock. You may make it. You may outlive me. Hell, my dog may outlive me. I keep drinking this shit that everybody's going to outlive me. Hey, man, they say 40's the new 20. I think they're smoking something. Because I'm 42 and everything hurts. I mean, everything hurts. Sometimes it hurts to breathe. I'm wondering how I can do this to set it up. So I've got a tripod. I've got my my 90 over, or my 75 over there. I got to move some stuff out of it because it looks like shit. They decided to tear my plants up and let them go flying around. Bro, they had to be on some good painkillers because there's no way. My 40s have hurt from day one. How many 41-year-olds you know that got a complete hip replacement? This guy. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Tommy, I will talk to you, sir. I appreciate you being here. It's going to end this live. Oh, snap. Tripped your main. Uh-oh, you coming back, Tommy? Tommy may come back. We may save this. We may resurrect this live stream. Let's see. Holy shit, that's a lot of plant matter floating. Hell yeah. You got the link, Tommy. Come on up. Guys, my plants survived all of that salt. Literally, they survived it. Now I got to go get some more because I like plants. All right, J-Rock, you do you, boo-boo. It's going to be like my new saying. I've been saying it to everybody lately. You do you, boo-boo. And for my sponge filter fans, don't buy this. If you do buy this, throw this part right here. Throw it in the trash. It's junk. Drill a hole in the back, run your airline down. You'll thank me later. This part is a piece of shit. The rest of it is fine. I do like this, however, to where you can bring it to where it breaks the surface. But the rest of it is trash. And I'm a huge fan of the Aquarium Co-op Core sponge filter too. And that's what bothers me. Because he let the quality of whatever, let the money go to his head and destroy a good product. I'm not trashing him. But that's just what happened, and I don't really care for it. I really don't. Yeah, because you can make it one big, tall. Works perfectly for a deep tank. So, uh-oh. Silver Creek Aquatics here.
I'm back. Oh my gosh, that was fun. I've got two different electric boxes because we did an add-on. So I used the box for the add-on in the shed on one, and then I've got the house on one, and it tripped the main on the house, which is my other one's connected to it. So, yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Only there was one area, our main room that was working, and that was it. I went in, and I was like, "Why is my fish tank in here working? Everything else is off."
You know, man, I've knock on wood. Since I've had fish here, I've only had the power go out one time, and it was out for 3 hours. And I was getting ready to start doing water changes to, you know, bring the temperature in the tanks up, and then the power kicked back on.
Dang. I hope I'm not going to have to replace my my main. I mean, it's only a 200 amp, but I may have to replace that because if that's what's faulty, but other stuff was still working, that means it was. Yeah, there's some kind of. Yeah, some certain probably those surges is what did it, but I'm hoping those surges didn't mess it up. If it happens again, I'll know. I'll have to get a new main.
Absolutely. I think mine's a 200 amp service in my house.
Yep.
We were gonna make it bigger because I was gonna build a garage in the backyard because I'm a mechanic, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to, you know, mess with cars and put a lift and stuff in back there. Yeah, but you know what, man?
Lift so bad, dude. That's like one of the biggest things on my wish list is a freaking car lift.
I work on cars for a living. I don't want to come home and do it.
Oh, everybody has a project car or something.
I used to. I sold it.
Yeah.
I had an 83 Cutlass Calais.
Oh, there you go.
Had a 355 Chevy in it.
Yeah.
373 rear gears, turbo 350 that was slightly built.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a Ford Fusion that I drive every day.
Right.
With a 1.6 liter turbo.
Oh, yeah. Is it the manual one or automatic?
No, it's automatic.
Yeah.
We can't get the manual one.
You can. You just have to order it.
They don't have the manual. Yeah,
they do.
You have to order it. Believe it or not, that's not even an American car.
Right.
That is an Australian car.
And Chinese.
Yes. It's called the Ford Mondeo.
Yeah. Yeah, they got.
I should have just called it the turd.
the turd.
This is the second one I had. I had a 2013. The first time I had a titanium, all-wheel drive, 2-liter turbo, beautiful car.
Mm-hmm.
I put 13,000 miles on it in 4 years.
Oh, that's not a lot.
That tells you how much I didn't drive it.
Yeah.
Went to my uncle's funeral and the transmission took a shit on the way back.
Oh, that's no fun.
So I did me. I cleared the check engine light. It still moved, but the tranny was slipping. And I took it and traded it in. They took it for a test drive. They offered me a stupid amount of money for it. I didn't say anything. That was dishonest to me at the time, but at the time I didn't really care. You know? They say everything comes back to bite you in the ass, so
yeah. It's like was it not dishonest to sell a lemon?
Correct.
It happens sometimes. More often than people care to admit.
It was out of warranty by 2 months.
Mm.
And Ford didn't want to help me.
Yep. Nope, they won't. None of them will. If it's out of warranty, they're like, nope, not my problem anymore. That's on you.
Correct.
But yeah, where were we? About
we were talking about electric cars.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, they're not as green as people think they are. And they don't last very long, so you got to buy a new one. And then what happens with that battery system when they're done with it? Pushing that out definitely causes a lot of issues with the environment.
They're non-recyclable.
Yeah, you're right. They are non-recyclable.
You know, like the old lead acid batteries in cars, we could take those and recycle them and reuse them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, basically, they go there, they dump the crap out of, they move the lead plates out of, they clean them up, they put them back in, they add the acid back to them, new battery.
Yeah. Now they're dumping them off somewhere in the desert, probably. It's what they used
Yeah.
to do with oil. Have too
You
much
know.
oil coming in and didn't have anything to do with it. So they'd just go out and dump it in the middle of the desert. Dump a whole truckloads. You have lines of trucks just dumping oil out in the middle of the desert. Refined too, refined and unrefined.
You know, if I ever decided to buy another car that isn't, you know, like 40 years old,
Right.
I definitely wouldn't buy a Jeep. I'm sorry. I work on them every day. I see them every day. I work on more Jeeps than I do anything. I don't know if it's just the area I'm in, you know, where everybody thinks they're so country and they're really not. But I work on more Jeeps than anything. I work on more Jeeps than Fords.
It's probably because a bunch of people buy them and think it's just a bulletproof car and they just don't do the maintenance on it.
Nobody maintains their car.
My mom's got a 2000, it's like 20-year-old Jeep Grand Cherokee that's still going.
4-liter straight six.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't kill it.
Yep.
That engine will run when everything else malfunctions on the car.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it will.
You know, yeah, it does kind of keep me in business, but I will never buy one. You know, I will buy an old Jeep. I'm talking like an old school Jeep.
Like
70s, like a 70s.
Yeah.
I'll buy one of those. But when it comes to the newer ones, I'll pass. I won't even, you know what?
War model Jeeps.
Yes.
Get you one of those in a deuce and a half. There you go. You can have you that deuce and a half air conditioning, that little foot switch that just, if you're lucky, blows hot air from the motor in on your feet.
I had a 72 Chevy C20.
Nice.
Needed a whole truck to be a truck, but it was a decent, you know, it did what I needed it to do. And I would push that around before I would drive most new cars.
Yeah.
However, if I was to buy a new car, I'm going straight to the Honda or Toyota dealership.
I thought Honda was the way. We had bought a newer model Honda Pilot, and come to find out, the newer model Honda Pilots aren't the bulletproof Honda Pilots that they used to be.
No. They changed a few things on them.
Issues, so many electrical issues too. Like the steering column, only half of the steering column worked. She had the touch screen center entertainment console on it.
Yes.
None of that worked. She couldn't change and of course that's what did the air and everything as well. So she could have it on full blast AC or full blast heat at the feet, and that's it. Nothing else worked. She couldn't do the radio, anything. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I've got a 16 Honda Odyssey.
That's what this was.
That was the first year of that new body style. Yeah, you never buy the first year.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know that was the first year.
That's like my Ford Fusion. The 13 Titanium I had was the first year of the all-wheel drive, like the new body style.
Mm-hmm.
And they have transmission problems, especially the all-wheel drive ones. The two-wheel drive, like the front-wheel drive one, doesn't.
Right.
It's the same transmission, but it doesn't have the same load.
Yeah, and they transferred those transmission problems to the Ford Fiesta and the Focus
2
years later.
Completely different, man. Those are a automatically shifted manual transmission.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
They are
Believe
fantastic.
me, I know.
I've made so much.
They had a
money
lot
off
of
those.
that first round though in 2013 or 2014 when they came out. No, 2012 for the Fiesta, I believe it was, and then 2013 they started coming out with them for the Fiesta and the Focus.
Yes, they put the same engine in both of them too.
A lot of problems with them. I had so many people calling me, why'd you sell me this POS? Because my managers told me to. You do
I am a you know, I always think that every Honda is going to run like my old 01 Civic did.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it was the only thing on that thing that was a problem was the tranny, and I replaced it. I drove it for 5 years with the check engine light on for the torque converter clutch solenoid being bad. And it
Oh,
actually
really?
wasn't the solenoid that was bad. It was the actual torque converter clutch inside of the torque converter. I drove it till it stopped moving. What was that?
A bug that fell onto my floor. It was just really loud. So that's
I,
why I was thinking too. What was that? It
I
landed by
seen
my
it do
foot.
this. I seen it dive bomb.
Yeah. I don't know what it is or what it was. Must be knocked unconscious wherever it is. But yeah,
The majority of the
startled me.
10-gallon tanks I do have are new. A couple of the other ones are used. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I may start them. I may start some green water tanks with them so I can feed my fry.
That's a great way to do it. It's
I'm
tried
thinking
and
about it.
true. Very tried and true. It's easy to
Mexicali.
start them too.
Mexicali did a video on it the other day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look at that.
I
And then I'm
didn't
going to
get to watch
contact
the
my
whole
other
thing
guy.
on it, but I'm sure it's the same thing that I do.
Yeah. You guys are all about that plant life. The majority of the fish I keep, that's my plant life right there.
Well, it's more than just the plant life for me. And I've said this a few times, but it's bringing everything full circle, bringing every piece of nature that I have, bringing all of the different animals, my crops, the things that I grow, my fish, making all of that work together. That's what it is for me. Like finding that relationship, that bond that doesn't have to be paradoxical, but more the obvious.
I swear to God, I just heard my wife yell for me and she's not home.
You know, they say the first thing to go is your mind, Jim.
Brother, literally, I have a Ring doorbell camera. I can look in my driveway. My car is the only one in the driveway. That's live. And I just heard my wife yell for me. Maybe I am losing my mind. So there's a way to do this.
You want to go make sure there's nobody in your house real quick?
Oh, I can do it without leaving where I'm sitting.
Oh.
I have security cameras.
I do too. They're called really big freaking dogs.
I got a 95-pound pit bull and a 20-pound puppy that I don't know what the hell he is. So my thing is, I live in a decent neighborhood. You know what I mean? I worked my way to make sure I could live somewhere nice because I always grew up in a place that wasn't very trustworthy. I always lived in the ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
I go to work one day. My wife comes, and me and my wife used to go to lunch together every day. She comes home. She's not paying attention. She, comes in the house. Like nothing ever happened. I came home. My front screen door's ripped off. Ripped completely wide open, sitting open. I'm like, that's locked from the inside. And the only way you can open it is unless you have the key or you unlocked it from the inside. I'm like, maybe she left the door open. You know what I mean? Maybe she came out the front door for something. We never used the front door. So I go over to the front door and I see the frames all bent up. I'm like, what in the hell? And then I go and I look at the door and I have pry bar marks in the door. You can see them clear as day. Brand new door, brand new frame. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. So I call the police. They broke into 3 houses on this street that day.
Oh, wow.
They were deterred by mine because of the 2 dogs that are in the house. My dog heard somebody rip the front door open. She come running, and she hit the door with both her front paws. Well, she weighs 5 pounds. My other dog was there with her, and he wouldn't have barked.
Yeah.
He was the I'm going to sit there and wait type, if you know what I mean.
Like, ooh, snack.
Yes. And he was a short-bodied pit bull that's about 95 pounds. He was smaller than her. She's American Bulldog Pit mix. He was 100% pit. So I think she scared him away.
Yeah.
So I bought a security camera system, and I ain't playing.
Yeah.
You ain't breaking in my shit.
Yeah. There's not there. an animal comes on my property and my dogs go off. A squirrel runs across the ground and that my dogs go off. So there ain't nobody sneaking up on me. They're
my girl dog
too. They watch down the road because there's only one way in and one way out of where I'm at. It's good for me, bad for anybody wanting to play. But yeah, they'll watch down at the end of the road, and if they even see a car that coming down from around the corner at the end of the road, they'll hear a car or just see a color of whatever, I don't know, a shade of gray that they're seeing that doesn't match with what's out here, and they start going nuts already. Like, what are you doing down here? Who are you? What's going on? Why are you in this neighborhood?
Yep. All right, J Rock, have a good day, man.
See you, J Rock. Hi, Andrew.
Aquarium Daily, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I just seen that. He is thinking 20 tall. Wait till Petco does their half off tank sale and you go buy them cheap. That's what I would do. I'm seriously thinking about selling the whole entire 10-foot rack that I built. Tanks and all. No fish, all the tanks. But I think people are going to be like, oh, you want too much money for it. No, I don't. You take the rack, you take the tanks. You don't get none of the fish, but you get all the tanks. And the rack. The rack is pretty strong.
There you go. Yeah. I got a new 40-gallon breeder not too long ago, but ended up breaking it. I made a post about it and showed my own idiocracy. But I think I'm going to leave the glass there, super glue it, cover it with silicone, paint that edge, lift it upright, and turn it into a terrarium.
Do it.
The crack starts about 10 inches up on one side, so I can make it not leak there. So I could do, I wouldn't even take it up that high, but I could do a small little pond of water in it in the terrarium as well for, whatever frogs or tadpoles or mud skippers, stuff like that. It would probably more than likely be frogs, but yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. That's something I haven't really talked to anybody about yet, but I just don't want the thing to go to waste. And my wife is really obsessed with frogs, so she wants to do like the different colored poison dart frogs and stuff like that.
You ever kept an oxalata?
No.
I'm thinking about it.
I wouldn't do it because it's the cost thing for me. Having to buy a chiller, I wouldn't be able to, and I wouldn't just be able to let I don't even think my house could stay cool enough for them.
My house stays 66 degrees in the wintertime.
Not mine.
Or summertime.
In the peak of summer, I'm lucky if the inside of my house is below 80, even with ACs running nonstop.
My wife gets that central air running, dude. She cranks it down low, like early in the day. And I mean, I don't think that thing shuts off. But a lot of things that people don't understand about air conditioning is whatever the temperature is outside, it's only going to be 20 degrees cooler in your house. That's it. If it's 100 degrees, you got 80. And if you're in the beating sun, good luck.
Yeah.
If you have no shade over your house is in trouble.
I got a tree over the house, but we're south facing as well. So that way during the winter, I get that full sun during the winter as well.
Yeah,
I did it right, man. I faced my house to the direction of the stars.
My house was built in 1948 by some redneck.
Hell yeah.
And then it was revamped by another redneck in 2013.
The bones are good, but everything else looks like shit.
We bought this house. It's as wild as it sounds, man. The people that lived in it passed away. We bought it like 3 months after they passed away. The house wasn't on the market 2 days, and I bought it.
Oh, there you go.
We were looking for 3 years for a house. And I didn't want to be in the county that I'm in, but I'm in it.
Right.
The tax bracket here is stupid.
Oh God. Yeah.
I mean, whatever your property tax is, I don't know if you guys pay a shitload of property tax.
I'm in 2 counties, so yeah, I get screwed doubly.
Mine is almost $6,000 a year.
Shit. Yeah. Yeah. It's about where we're at. Even, well, not quite, but we're even homesteaded. Like, we're homesteaded. We have tax credits because of agriculture, and still.
Oh yeah.
They'll F you any way they can.
My
I can't
in-laws
wait
just
for-
built a new house. It's expensive. Theirs is 10, almost 11,000 a year. Oh yeah, it's the price you pay when you want to live somewhere nice, I guess. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah, I don't even live anywhere nice, dude. I'm like cabin trash. It's like white trash out here.
I'm like one step above trash pandas.
Yep.
Bro, my floor in my basement is 76 degrees. It's a concrete floor.
Yeah.
Actually felt good on my feet. I'm down here in Crocs. By the way, that's why I laughed when you said something about Crocs.
I'm wearing like a hybrid of Crocs. It's like Croc bottoms, but they're like water shoes on the top.
Yeah.
But they're lightweight.
You know, it's,
I can wear them around here, get them muddy, rinse them off. I can kick the bag in them and they don't flip off of my feet.
so my last question for you here.
1,500 on 50 acres.
That's where property tax is. 1,500 on 50 acres.
Dang. That's
Yeah.
how much my pond is. Like they
Your
tax
pond
me
is
for
what?
the pond. And like I've got to fix it. I actually need to contact the Department of Natural Resources on my pond because it's a conservation easement, technically. It's seeded with life. It protects the houses below us. There's migratory birds that go to it. Like they shouldn't be taxing us on that. Like it's keeping the flow of nature going and keeping the houses down the road from us from flooding. But no, yeah, it's like freaking $1,200 just for the freaking pond. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, you had another question. I'm sorry.
Where do you see your fish hobby going over the next few years?
To natives, absolutely to natives.
Are we talking smaller tank sizes or are we going bigger?
I'm not planning on buying any new tanks. I don't have anywhere to put them. I'm getting a 60-gallon here in a couple of weeks that's already stocked. And we're like throwing a Hail Mary for a spot for it. We're actually having to put it in our room, which my wife said she wouldn't put a fish tank in our room again, but because of where this one's coming from, she wants it in our bedroom. So we're gonna have it. But yeah, I don't have space for anything else. I mean, I could build vertical racks like on this side and on the other side of this tank to hold smaller tanks, but I want some larger fish. Like I'm the weirdo that's not just thinking about taking care of these things, but also not just the full circle of it being all part of the homestead and connected in that way, but also what if something happens? What if my fish do have to be my food one day? Or what if I have to breed them so that I can continue to eat sunfish or continue to eat bass or yellow cat or whatever is around? What if I need to do that to be able to sustain myself? If I have the ability to do it, why wouldn't I, I might get into the farming side of some fish as well.
What about
doing it again? Hopefully we don't lose power again, but it's doing
I
it
see
again.
it flicker.
You know,
What if you build an outside pond?
I've got an outside pond.
Well, I'm talking about like a,
It could hold bass.
we'll call it like a plywood aquarium outside.
Yeah, that's basically what I have. It's 3 foot by 6 foot.
I'm thinking about building one outside and putting koi in it, but I have to make it pretty deep because of the frost line here. Uh-oh. I am pretty sure Tommy is gone again. Caprese, you stock your pond, but you don't fish it. What do you stock it with? He gone. All right, guys, I'm going to end this live stream because Tommy is my special guest today, and he's having some technical difficulties with his internet. So I'm going to call it quits. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. Tommy, we will talk. And guys, remember, as always, it's your hobby. Do it your way. I will be back at 6 o'clock tonight with another guest. Thank you for watching.